Alright guys, here we go, flash for cash. Whether you're touring Australia or what, check out this vehicle on the left here. Very important. See that there? Keep an eye on it. That is a
Toyota Kluger.
Toyota Kluger, yeah, dark blue in colour, had an aerial on the front, and it had some speed cameras shooting straight out the back window at us. So we're just going to quickly tell you about those in case you don't know, and if you do know, even better. Now, we don't condone speeding, don't speed. Now, when we say that, of course, you know, you're not going to purposely speed, but, you know, I always say, as the government often says lately, use common sense. So you may accidentally find yourself speeding, doing 60 in a 40 zone outside of school, because some schools are a 40 zone, whether the school's open or not, because they're really consistent, this Vic Roads and government we have here in Victoria and the governments in Australia. They're just so awesome. But what they do, right? They tell you the speed cameras are for road safety. So that's the first thing. You've got to remember that. Speed cameras for road safety. But there was no warning at all whatsoever about that speed camera, and most people wouldn't even know that that was a speed camera. Now the problem is, the key point to this video, you used to be able to drive along and you thought you were a bit cocky, and you know, whether you were speeding on purpose or not, I don't care if you're doing 5 or 10 k's over, you know, you're getting your 5 or 10%, you're getting your value for money, but you know, you don't get 10% anymore. You're lucky if you get a couple of k's, right? So be very careful getting your value for money. But on that point, I do realise Toyota Speedos are out by about 4 or 5 k's, and generally if you think you're doing 100, you're probably doing about 96. So check that against a GPS and probably multiple devices to make sure you know what actual speed you're doing, so that you know you can sit on the speed limit and be cool, you know, just cruise along at the speed limit. Because sometimes when you're going slower, it can become annoying for other drivers, and you know, you might be one of those drivers. You might not care either, and you don't have to do the speed limit. I'm just letting you know, because you may think you're doing the speed limit and you're actually going slower. So key bit of information, see how we, just as we pass this vehicle in the left lane, the speed cameras, the way they used to work, at least in Victoria, and I know it's different in different states. In Queensland they've been getting it out the back window for years, and they also have a sign up, and they also have the van lit up pretty obvious, so you could almost believe that it's only for road safety, right? It's only for road safety, of course. In New South Wales, it's my understanding that they have to also have signs up warning you. In Victoria, they do not need to warn you about speed cameras. They don't need to do anything except give it to you in the mail. Cop that. It's known as a flash for cash. But did you see a flash? No, there's no flash. So, news flash, you don't need to have passed the vehicle. So once you say this yellow sign up here, this push bike sign up here, right, we're about to pass it, right here. Oh look, speed camera. Oh, you could touch the brakes and slow down, because you might be accidentally doing I don't know, 2 kilometers over the speed limit, or 4 kilometers, or 6 kilometers. It's so easy to do when you're just moving with the traffic and people are using that natural common sense. That's right, we're not all dumb. We're not all necessarily speeding on purpose, and you're not an idiot if you got done for speeding. Sometimes the speed limits are stupid. Sometimes they're not well posted. Sometimes it's in roadworks where it goes 40, 60, 80, 100, 110, 40, 80, 100, and you wouldn't know what's going on, because it's changing literally. You know, I find myself in roadworks, and it's like, you've got to be sitting there like, can you take some notes, warn me what the speed limit is, because and then it's that long until you get to the next one. You don't know what you're doing, and you use common sense. And look, I don't get pulled over for speeding or anything. I don't get tickets for speeding. I know how to slow down. No, we don't condone speeding, but I understand it can happen to people, and that's why I want to help you save some money. Those speed cameras, like the type we just saw, not only are they parked on the side of highways, they're in 80 zones, they're in 60 zones, they're in built-up areas, they're everywhere. They can be parked amongst other cars, but it's my understanding, unless it's changed, it is set positions they have to use. All the speed cameras, they must somehow survey the area, whatever they do, and there's set positions where the speed camera cars have to park. So the operator can't just go and make up, and usually like it's an ex-police officer, half retired or something, that are you know, manning the vehicles. There's always someone sitting in the vehicle. They've got their duress button, so you know, if you pull up and you think you're going to cause problems because you've got a flash, you know, the old flash for cash, they'll just touch touch that button, click that button there, and you know, there'll be a big woo! Everyone's going to come in and get you. So just watch it with that one. Don't get road rage happening with the speed cameras. The warning is, it gets you as you're oncoming. I don't know the distance. There's people talking up to 1 kilometre. I don't actually believe up to 1 kilometre. I think it's a few hundred metres they could probably get you at. Now, the way to not get got, obviously, is don't speed. But of course you want to get there, because if you're going slower, if you've got a big day ahead of you, like say perhaps we have now, if we're doing 100, this is what people say, what's your hurry? Well, we're not in a hurry at all, but we want to get there, because if we don't do the speed limit as per our planned day, and we're quite safe to do that, if the authorities let us do it, you can guarantee you it's quite safe to do that. You could probably go faster and be safe, but it's got to be a general rule for everybody, including some of the less safe vehicles, the less safe drivers. So it's those crappy cars and drivers that are letting the team down, right? So lift your game, get yourself a decent vehicle, learn how to drive, and if you can't drive, stay off the road, right? So how's this? Even better. If you can't drive, stay off the road, let someone else drive. So my point is, by doing the maximum allowable safe speed, you shorten your day, which means less fatigue. If you do 60 k's an hour instead of 120 k's an hour, it doubles the trip. It's a long day to get the same job done, right? I want to do the speed limit. I want to get maximum value for money. I'm going to know if my speedo's in, out, or around. Right now, mate, you know what? Because you know we're sitting on we're probably right on about $1.09, $1.10, right? So we're a little bit under, because some of our concentration's gone to trying to help you save a buck and understand how these cameras work, how these vehicles work. Maximum value for money. This is really what we want. We don't want you to get fines unnecessarily. We don't want fines. We don't want you going around. You don't need to hit the brakes. This is the other thing. What is the matter with people when they do? At least these cameras, they don't recognise it, right? The old speed cameras, they used to have this flash box sitting out the front. Then they eventually got rid of that. But what people used to do was they'd see that, you know, had a cord, it was out to a flash box, bloody unbelievable, right? Now they jam the brakes on. They're already doing 55 in a 60 zone, and they jam the brakes on, you know. And I'm not going to say you nearly rear end them, because you've got to have a safe distance. It's still your fault if you run into someone. So this video is not just about speed cameras and a flash for cash. It's a whole complete road safety lesson. No, it's not actually. So basically, people used to jab the brakes on, even though they were going, you know, you end up doing 80 in a bloody 100 zone. What are you doing, people? Wake up. Know what speed you're travelling at. Use your cruise control. How about all these hopeless drivers that can't do the speed limit as soon as they get to an overtaking lane? They're into it and they're exceeding the speed limit. Do you know there's a law that says you are not allowed to increase your speed when you're being overtaken? That's right. So if someone's overtaking you, not only are you dangerous, you are breaking the law. And if you do that to me and it gets dangerous, you better watch out, because you're the one on the left side and you'll be the one off the road. Just be aware of that. Bada bing. Be warned. Don't speed up when people are overtaking. You might be doing it by accident, right? You're in the left lane, you're in a 100 zone, you're having a bit of a cruising. You cruising, mate? Are we cruising, yeah? We're cruising, you know, and a bit of a date. If you're not using your cruise control, next thing you know, you're doing, that's how you get a speed ticket. You're doing 120 or you're doing 95. Most people end up doing 95. They're not in a hurry. So what happens then? Bang, they get to the overtaking lane and they go, oh, because it's an overtaking lane, it wakes them up. It's a wake-up call, and they go, oh, right, yep, okay, 110, and they get into it. And they see the cars from behind coming, and they think, oh no, they're going to run me down. And they, that's right, I hope you're having a giggle. And they get into it. Next thing you know, you find yourself doing 140 trying to get past these cars. Excuse me, I'm getting a bit excited. No, not really. Of course, we would never go that fast, officer. But, you know, you find yourself really getting into it to try and get past these cars, and a half a K or a K later of an overtaking lane, you've gone, holy cow, I mean, we've just got past this car, and you slow down, and you go, mate, he's pushing me now, mate. Why couldn't he do that before the overtaking lane, right? And then what happens is, of course, you've got to slow down, because, you know, back to, you know, the speed limit changes, and they're behind, and then what happens, they eventually go back into their daydream and they drift off into the sunset, right? Because that's what happens. So please use your cruise control. Please wake up to the speed limit. I don't care how slow you drive. It'd be wise to drive at a safe speed, close to the speed limit, because you can actually be a bit dangerous. Like, I have vehicles sometimes, you know, let's not mention the ones without their lights on and the ones with the tail lights not working, and you don't see them until you nearly run into them. Let's not, in the dark I'm talking about, so let's not talk about those. Sometimes you'll be cruising along 110 like this, and you come across a car doing 70 k's, and you sort of don't always know you're gaining that quickly. And obviously, of course, you can put the brakes and that sort of. Something else while we're talking road safety, I'm going to change lanes here. Why should I have to? Please, no, you're getting onto a 110 speed zone. The on-ramp is for you to get your vehicle up to speed. So get it up to speed and either go in front if you're ahead or go behind. Don't bloody set yourself up for disaster. I don't have to move over for you. I don't have to give way to you. You need a driving lesson. Okay, that's it, guys. We've gone completely off topic from speed cameras to driving lessons. I hope it's been educational for everybody, and I hope you get my drift, right? I hope you get my drift. Yeah, you like that? Drive right, be safe, you know, make sure your vehicle's safe, but watch out for those speed cameras. They're parked on the side of the road. Sometimes they're on nature strips. It's in a 60 zone is where you're in more trouble, because you could quite easily be amongst traffic or out there on your own, cruising along and doing 70 and a 60. It's not hard to do. It's not a dangerous speed. There's many roads that you could easily do 80 or 90 that are a 60 zone. I'm not condoning speeding. I'm just saying it could easily happen using that natural common sense, right? Natural common sense. And being there it is, and it's got you, I reckon, 100 meters, 150, 200 meters down the road. If you look, you know, way down there, right, where that white sign is, you know, say there was a camera there, it could probably go bing and get me now, right? Oh, oops, too late. And when you're in that slower speed zone, you're further away. We're at the 100 zone. Things happen quicker, so you should be at least looking further in. Look further in the distance, guys. Look further ahead. Look further ahead. Anyway, I'm out of here. Thanks for watching. Hopefully it's helped you save a buck. Understand those speed cameras. Share it to all your friends, family, anyone you want to help understand those speed cameras are shooting you out the back window, getting you at a distance away. Once you see it, it's too late. There's no warning signs, so don't speed. But we don't want you holding us up either. That's dangerous. It's painful. Some people, they can't handle that. That's road rage then. They lose it. Mate, you can't control other people's crazy minds, so you don't want to get involved in it. So you want to be doing a consistent speed as close as possible to the speed limit when the conditions are safe to do so. Like now, look at the weather. There's no wind. There's not a breath. Those leaves up on top of those gum trees, they're not even moving. It's clear and sunny. The roads are dry and clean. Bada bing. I'm out of here. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, turn the bell on, hit the like button if it saved you a buck, or it might, and you're going to forward across to someone to help them. Thanks for watching, guys. See ya. Oh, is this another one of those speed cameras? Let's take a look. What is it? This is going to save you a heap of money. We'll explain this. No, it's not. It's just some crappy Audi. One last little bit of information for those people that hung around to the end. There's these overhead cameras every now and then. See these ones here on a pole? They've got about 3 cameras on each side. Does anyone know for an absolute fact? I don't want to know the might be's, and they might be for monitoring trucks, or they might be checking for mobile phone use, or they might be point-to-point cameras, or they might be this, that, or the other. Does anyone know for sure, 100%, what those cameras are used for? Thanks for watching, guys. That was the last little bonus. Subscribe, bell on. See ya. Hope you had a giggle. Hope you didn't do a little wee. Catch you next time. See ya.